Welcome, everyone, to Game 2 of this exciting NBA playoff series. I'm Kevin Harlan along with Tim Legler and Greg Anthony. And our reporter on the sideline tonight, Allie LaForce. Look at the Wizards. Well, they came out and did what they had to do in Game 1. Now, guys, a Game 2 showdown presents the chance to win the series on the road.
And, you know, anytime you have a chance to get another playoff win, you have got to be focused on that game. You know, each game is an entity in and of itself. Yes, momentum is important, but you got to be ready to take care of your business in each game. So the focus has to be right here, right now.
Back to the end of the lane. Gordon with no one around. Drills the three-pointer. You look at Brooklyn. This game could be an indicator of where they stand. Greg, do you think they have what it takes to make a legitimate championship run?
I think all the teams that are still around are contenders. But you're right, we're at a stage where the special teams start to separate themselves. If they do have what it takes to win it all, I want to see that tonight.
And there's the call on Lou Dort. That's his first foul. And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. Inside, and then Carter with the jam.
And playing with some force on the interior. You gotta love Carter Jr. playing with that level of physicality.
Out to the right wing. Right side, Porzingis. A second chance effort. Now Tatum. Carter pulls it in. Right now, let's take a moment here to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sideline.
A bit ago, Brian Keith and I were able to chat. I asked, what do you do about Tyrese Maxey, a guy who can spark plays out of thin air? Coach let me in on their strategy, saying, I'm trying to keep someone in front of him all night. I don't want Maxey seeing the shots he wants or the passing lanes he's looking for. It's a tough assignment, but Coach says he's got the right guys for the job. Back to you.
And as always, Allie, great job. Thank you.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D, just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
Here's Butler. Here he goes. And he drew the blocking foul. He'll go to the line for two.
And there is so much that Butler brings to this offense. He can be their primary scorer or a facilitator. He has a very high basketball IQ.
And so Butler nails both of them.
Just solid. Really one of the very best there is at the free throw line.
Here's Jackson Davis.
You know, he's smaller for the center position by NBA standards, but his leaping ability more than makes up for his lack of height.
Vassell outside. 6 on the shot clock. From deep, Maxey. With 1 on the clock. And finished off by Carter.
And how about the effort by Carter? Always lurking there on the offensive glass.
Pass to Dort. Here's Jackson Davis. And he jams it with authority.
Whenever he gets that close to the hoop, he finishes with authority.
Outside, Maxey. It's deflected. Stolen by Dort. Nice ball movement by Washington. They get it back. Jackson Davis.
That is a product of pure effort, guys.
I agree, and that's nothing new coming from him, GA. He loves going to work on the rebounding, going to work on the board.
And he showed you great timing as well. Offensive rebounding, one of his specialties.
Now, here's Tatum. They now take the lead.
And Tatum is all about doing what's best for the team. Superb as a ball mover in terms of finding his teammates.
Here's Maxey. No scoring in this one. There's the drive. Here's Carter. Vassell outside. And the clock. Carter with the screen. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Wizards making a switch here.
Now,
And here is DiVincenzo. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tyrese Maxey. That is his first foul of the game.
First personal foul. First team.
Here's DiVincenzo. And here's Tatum for three. And the Wizards hit again from deep.
You expect Tatum to be around that 40% mark from deep. Very reliable from three.
Gordon a screen to the inside. And that time, also a missed shot. Outside Tatum. Pass to DiVincenzo. Back to Tatum. On the wing, DiVincenzo. Latrey. And they call an illegal screen here.
Beyond the leaning, you could see his feet weren't set on that screen. Easy call.
Also, the ball handler needs to wait until the screener's feet are set.
In the corner, it's Gordon. And the Nets miss again.
And that was almost a block. Still did enough to alter the shot.
He didn't quite get a hand on it, but he did enough to affect the miss.
Now, here's DiVincenzo. Still scoreless. Just 3 to shoot. Again, the Wizards score.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
And so, Jordi Fernandez decides to call timeout. He's going to take this chance to talk to his guys. Here's Moody. It's a 6-point game. Johnson outside. Moody with it. Outside, Maxey. Just 5 on the clock. Will it go? He lays it in.
And with how explosive Maxey is, he's not your average guard in the paint.
Pass to Shepard. Takes a 3. The rebound by Cato. And it's Maxey with the ball for Brooklyn. And there's the goal on Dante DiVincenzo. That's foul number 2 for him.
Well, this is a tough choice here. You want to trust him as a coach, but that's his second early foul.
And Brian Keefe wants a timeout. He made the decision to huddle up with his guys and talk about strategy. Now, here's Maxey. Pass to Butler. 6 to shoot. Fades away. It's up and it's off the mark. He's over 1.
And, Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage. Lethal from deep.
Shepard will hurt you from there.
Outside, Maxey. And they double up Maxey. Here's Johnson. And the slam dunk by Johnson.
Punch, counter punch. Impressive offensive production early on.
Well, if you love high-scoring games, you came to the right place.
Here's Shepard. Here's Shannon. Down low. Porzingis. The rebound by Cato. Nets trailed by 5. Now Maxey. Here's Johnson. Off with the layup.
Well, that is a nice challenge at the rim. Really altered that shot.
Mr. Porzingis. And the shot no good, a bit short.
Well, he better focus now. His efficiency is dropping, but there's enough game left to make corrections.
Here's Tata. Outside, Maxey. Goes back up. It's hauled in by Shannon.
Well, he got the shot he loves, and the defense should honestly be relieved. He didn't punish them for being a little bit soft there in the mid-range.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
And so, Jordi Fernandez decides to call timeout. He's going to take a few moments here to check in with his team and regroup. 55 seconds left to play in the first. To Porzingis. And Porzingis throws it down hard.
How about the creativity there from Porzingis? He wanted to make that one sting a little.
Johnson right side. It's rebounded by Porzingis. Wizards leading by 7. Shepard with the ball. Five to shoot. And finished off by Shepard.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam.
I mean, he makes plays like that in his sleep. The game is just far too easy.
And that does it for the first quarter. Wizards out front. And we're back for more exciting action from the Eastern Conference semifinals. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for Washington.
They've looked to fire as much as possible from outside the arc, and so far they are hitting at a high clip.
Well, from the start, they've been making quality passes offensively, and that is reflected in their assist number.
Oh, and the jam by Johnson.
Man, that was impressive. Johnson can flat out fly.
Out to Porzingis. Launches a three. Johnson with the rebound.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Deflects the pass. Burnett working the ball around now. Here's Richard. Walker with some nice D.
He had the right idea going to the fadeaway, but the defender stayed right on it.
Pass to Champagny. To the middle. Porzingis is double. Launches it. Sinks the three-pointer. Champagny's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Well, those are the ones you're happy to get every trip down the floor if you can.
With the drive. And it's Johnson with the jam.
Yeah, Johnson is really coming into his zone. That is great determination right there.
Burnett shooting their 3rd free throw attempt of the game. On the free throw, no good. And here is Tatum. 7 points in the game. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. And looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
When a pick like that is questionable and creates that much of an advantage for the offense, you have to blow the whistle.
Well, oftentimes illegal screens fall into a gray area, but that time he got called for it.
Here's Shepard. Intercepted. And Tatum over to help. Stolen. Brooklyn with the rebound. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Here's Rollins. The rebound by Jason Tatum. Wizards leading by 6. Pass to Shepard. to Tatum. He sinks the 11-footer. Tatum's got 9.
Well, certainly been a good night for him, and it is showing on the scoreboard.
Here's Moody, defended by Jordan. There's the screen. And the Nets miss again. And here's Tatum. He'll bring it up for the Wizards. The defense has only allowed 4 points in the quarter. And so Jordi Fernandez decides to call timeout. He's going to make some adjustments to the game plan. On defense, Brooklyn trailing here by 8. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tyrese Maxey. That's foul number 2 for him.
Second team foul.
Here in the second quarter, just under 3.5 minutes played. To the paint. Lock at 6. Here's Tatum. Inside. Tatum finds the juice.
Excellent job finishing on the inside. Tatum doesn't fear going in amongst the three.
It's Vassell on the wing. Buries the long-range jumper. Vassell's got his second bucket of the game to go.
You can't just stop when there's a pick set up. Gotta fight over it as a defender.
Well, you just have to communicate those switches. If you don't, it's on you.
Pass to Shepard. Here's the screen. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. And Washington making a change here. Nets trailed by 7. Now, here's Maxey. And here is Butler. Sinks it from just inside the baseline.
And sometimes the only answer for great defense is the mid-range jumper, and that's Butler's go-to.
Up top, Jackson Davis. Here's DiVincenzo. Nothing on the board. Back to Jackson Davis. Carter pulls it in. Now Maxey. Pass to Gordon. Vassell outside. Gordon with it. Great B that time from Tatum. Wizards leading by 5. And here is DiVincenzo. The kick out to Tatum. Back to DiVincenzo. Nice ball movement by Washington. Here's Shannon. Rebound, Brooklyn. Now here's Butler. Pass to Maxey. Back to Butler. The Nets need to get a shot off here. And then Carter with the jam.
There is the all-around game of Butler. A nice assist to cash in on that possession.
And Brian Keefe wants a timeout. He's going to have a discussion on the sideline. Here's DiVincenzo. Scoreless thus far. Outside, Walker. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
The Wizards shooting their first free throws of the game. The Nets making a switch here. And so Walker nails both of them. Nets trail by 5. Here's Rollins. Pass to Butler. Carter with the screen. Carter on the wing. Shot clock at 5. That one misses. His first miss of the game after making his first three. Now DiVincenzo. Over in the corner, Porzingis. A three-pointer is right on target. Porzingis has got 7.
And Porzingis doesn't take too many shots from the corner, but he's effective when he does.
Vassell left side. Pass to Carter. And then Carter with the dunk.
That's just a strong take by Wendell Carter Jr. playing with some fire tonight.
Brooklyn shooting their 4th attempt at the free throw line right here. And that one misses. Wizards leading by 6. Here's DiVincenzo. And he throws it down hard with one hand.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen.
Beyond the leaning, you could see his feet more set on that screen. Easy call.
Also, the ball handler needs to wait until the screener's feet are set.
Tatum, that's for 2. Carter pulls it in. Nets trailed by 8. .141 left to play here in the second quarter. Here's Rollins. No good with the triple. And here's Tatum. He'll bring it up for Washington. Outside, Walker. Pass to DiVincenzo. Here's Rollins. He has yet to score. And there's the call on Dante DiVincenzo. That will get him his 4th foul of the game.
And that's his 4th foul. And we're not even at halftime. That is going to limit his playing time and his aggressiveness the rest of the game.
To the inside. Gordon. And then Gordon with the dunk.
And we all know Gordon isn't just going to lay it up. He's going for the throwdown every time.
Here's Porzingis. Pass to DiVincenzo. Back to Porzingis. With the fadeaway. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
When you're not at your best, it is great to have teammates who will pick up the slack.
Vassell outside. Here's Rollins. Fires the 3. It's hauled in by Porzingis.
And really the smart thing would be to hold for the last shot.
You're going to have to be very patient right here. Let's see how it plays out.
Over in the corner, Shepard. For 3, Gordon. And the last second attempt does not go in for him. And so that brings the first half to a close. Wizards lead by 6. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway. And glad to have you with us as we get going here in Game 2. Nets trailed by 6. Maxey deciding where to go with it. Pass to Butler. Over Tatum. And it's Butler missing. Here's Washington now. They've led by as much as 10. Now here's DiVincenzo. Here's Jackson Davis. Back to DiVincenzo. Now George. Shot clock at 6. The kick out to Tatum. This one for 3. Rebounded by the Nets.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
And they double up Gordon. Pass to Kata. Butler with the ball. George covering. And there's Butler with the flush.
Yeah, Jimmy throwing it down. Wow, that was tough.
Now Jackson Davis. Back to Dort. Takes it off the glass. And the Wizards lead by 6.
They didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Left side, Maxey. Inside. And he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
Oh, he's such a threat to shoot it off pick and roll. You expect Maxey to light it up for himself. So that's a very smart play to give it up and read the defense.
Here's Tatum. Misses with the tough leaning jump shot. Nets trailed by 4. Vassell outside. Outside, Maxey. Gordon a screen. Walker with the rebound. Washington leading now by 4. Tatum on the wing. There's a screen. Let's go. Misses the wing J.
That's 1 for their first 4 to start the second half.
Pass to Gordon. Gordon a screen. Down low. And it's Gordon finishing it off.
Downright lethal in the pick and roll. Gordon's size and quickness, along with the decision-making, it's a tough combination.
On the wing, DiVincenzo. And there's the call on Dante DiVincenzo. That will be foul number 5 on him.
And he's got to be careful now. One more foul and his night is over.
Maxey with it. Dort covering. Vassell outside. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. Vassell's got 9.
And there is no hesitation on Vassell's catch-and-shoot jumper. Any sort of room, and he's letting it fly.
Trying to end the drought. And he lays it up and in. He's got 13. This game has a lot of character here in the third period. 6 changes of the lead here.
Intensity is the theme for this one.
Outside, Maxey. Gordon inside. And there's the whistle. 3-second violation.
Well, I think that was a product of the pressure. Take your eye off the ball for just a second, and it can lead to a turnover.
And so, Jordi Fernandez decides to call timeout. Coach is going to take a few minutes to regroup and go over the strategy. And a new group in for the Nets.
One more time.
So it's the Wizards now. Shepard with the ball. He's got 5. It's stolen by Johnson. Driving the lane. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. And the Nets lead by 1. And a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for the Nets.
All game long, they've had active hands and really out in the passing lanes. And that aggression on defense has resulted in a ton of steals.
And they've taken advantage of the turnovers they've created, pushing it every chance they get. So much easier to score when you get early looks.
And it's Maxey with the ball for the Brooklyn Nets. Just 4 points. That's all they've given up here in the second half. Washington with the rebound. Now Shepard. Pass to Jackson Davis. No good with the layup.
Well, that's an excellent contest, and then he finished the play with a tough rebound.
Here's Maxey. The rebound by Champagnie. Washington trailing. Outside, Dort. 3-pointer. Unable to get that one. And here's Maxey. Shot Johnson outside. Up top, Maxey. And it's blocked. Pass to Shepard. And the foul is called. He intentionally grabbed him there for some reason. I don't know.
Kevin, all I can think of is that he's trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Right.
That's a stretch, though. Definitely a strange move on his part.
And out of bounds as the Nets gain possession.
Substitution. Number 13.
Now here's Johnson. 8 points for him. Pass to Moody. A 3-ball. That's in there. Johnson with the assist. Moody's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Here's Dort. Here's Champagny. Covered by Johnson. 6 to shoot. To the middle. Outside. Dort. Shepard. The Wizards with another miss. And here are the Nets. They're on a 14-4 run. Here's Rollins. Still without a basket. Pass to Moody. Here's Rollins. Here's Gay. No good from outside. Shepard with the ball. And there's the try. And finished off by Shepard.
I like the touch from Shepard finishing around the rim.
Pass to Moody. A 3. And the 3-ball is good. Moody's got 2 now from beyond the arc in the third for Brooklyn. Now Shepard. And he lobs it up toward the rim.
You can get used to that from Shepard. He likes to keep the ball moving.
Brooklyn leading by 3. Johnson in the corner. .135 left in the third quarter of the game. The shot by Rollins no good. Now Shepard. He has 7. And Brian Keith wants a timeout. This now will give him a chance to discuss some potential changes. To the right side. Nice ball movement by Washington. Pass to Champagny. 4 on the clock. The Wizards with another miss. Nets leading by 3. In the corner. Moody with it. Nice to the hoop. And the layup's good off the glass. Moody's got 8 points here in this quarter.
And not quite as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half. Sticking to the high percentage shots, playing smart with the lead. And credit the screen for giving him the space he needed to get to the rim.
For sure, GA allows him to come in with the sledgehammer.
Yes, the power of the two-man game after all these years is still the most difficult set to defend.
Pass to Moody. Fires the 3. Buries it from 3-point range. Moody's got the lead up to 6 now for Brooklyn.
Yeah, they're relying on their three-point shooting and getting pretty good results.
And the shot goes in from Kristaps Porzingis.
Matching threes for these teams. Porzingis so good from deep.
Here's Rollins. Here's Richard. No good on the last second attempt there. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. It's the Nets.
55.
with us live as we bring you continuing coverage of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Outside, Porzingis. Shepard with the ball. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Shepard's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Wizards. Here's Rollins. Pass to Moody. Stripped away. Outside, Walker. Here's Shepard. To take the lead. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Well, Reed Shepard's shooting consistency and on-court smarts give him a strong foundation as a player, but adapting to the league is never easy. It takes time and a lot of work.
Brooklyn trailing. Pass to Rollins. Inside. Porzingis with the steal. Now here's Walker. Covered by Johnson.
Second personal foul. Second team foul.
Now Shepard. Pass to Shannon. 5 on the clock. And out of bounds as Brooklyn gains possession. We're just over a minute and a half now into the fourth. Here's Rollins. Pass to Moody. Johnson outside. Here's Richard. That one falls. Coming off the Johnson feet.
Man, the vision he has at his position is special. What a find right there by Johnson.
And now only one away from being in the penalty.
Third personal foul. Third team foul.
On defense, Brooklyn. A 2-point game. Outside, Walker. 3-pointer. Good on the triple.
Nice answer back there. Love to see the competitor.
And when you give up a 3, there's always this instinct to try and get it back immediately.
After Rollins. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And all around to win that time before dropping in. Rollins got his first bucket of the night. And here's Porzingis. Now Shepard, covered by Rollins. Shepard, that's good.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Over to the left wing. Here's Kata. Porzingis with the block.
And there's a time when Porzingis was good for several rejections at the rim like that per game. Most would-be scorers have learned that about him.
Quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Wizards.
They've been the better team on the post all game long. Whenever they've worked it in low, they've been able to find success.
And they have found plenty of opportunity to put it on the deck and take it to the hoop. Very aggressive in that area.
And now let's swing it over to Allie LaForce on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Brian Keefe was saying to the team. The coach is thrilled with their three-point shooting, saying in the huddle, guys, let's keep it up. Continue to shoot it from deep. It's working. They've been on fire from distance so far.
Thank you, Allen. Michelle, left side. Carter outside. From 20 feet out. Rebound, Washington. They've led by as much as 10.
More good work on the glass there. When it's all said and done, I think rebounding might tell the story in this game.
Back to DiVincenzo. From the arc. And again, Washington with the triple.
And that's back-to-back threes. The D just seems to be slacking off a little bit.
And there's the whistle. Illegal screen.
That's just his first turnover of the game. For the most part, he's been very reliable.
That's going to draw a whistle every time down the floor. Not even close to being a legal screen.
Well, my feeling is you just want to make sure it's called consistently both ways.
Nets trailed by 8. And they double up Maxey. Outside Butler. Carter down low. 2 on the run. And then Carter with the dunk.
He just powered that
one of the game's top dunkers. And here is DiVincenzo. Pass to Walker. Up top, DiVincenzo. And he makes good on the layup. And the Wizards lead by 8.
Well, the defense is going to try to shut down certain things, but it's impossible to deny everything. That's a skilled play right there.
And here is Butler, guarded by Tatum. Back to Vassell. Lets it go with the 3. It's hauled in by Jackson Davis.
Yeah, just a solid job on the backboard. They are really controlling the inside.
Pass to Walker. It's Dort on the wing. Down low. Butler with the steal. To the paint. And then Carter with the jam.
And really good to see Carter Jr. find his rhythm. I love when he's aggressive offensively.
Outside Tatum. There's the 3. There's Tatum's range on display.
First 3 of the half, second of the game. Can he beat up?
Outside, Maxey. Vassell outside. In the corner, it's Gordon. And they come right back with their own 3-pointer.
And I like the back and forth here, showing confidence from Ray.
Yeah, he was so ready to answer that. These teams are just battling.
And we've got a timeout call by Brian Keefe. He has decided it's the right time to talk. And Washington making a change here. Here's DiVincenzo. Outside, Dort. In the corner, Tatum with it. Just 5 to shoot. It's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over.
Possession to Brooklyn.
Nets trailed by 6. Here's Vassell. Now Carter. Outside Butler. Now Vassell takes the 3. Good.
Give him credit. Vassell has worked incredibly hard to become a guy that this team can count on to take big shots.
Now Dort. Outside Porzingis. Here's DiVincenzo. Tatum. Cleared away by Carter. And so it's Maxey with it. He brings it up for the Nets. They set the pick. They're outside. Carter. Porzingis pulls it down. Washington leading now by 3. Here's Tatum. Outside Porzingis. Lets it go from 11. The shot misses. Nuggets trailed by 3. Outside Vassell. Here's Butler. Now Vassell to tie it up. For 3. Can't get it. The critical possession right here.
Crowd on pins and needles, Kev.
We can probably expect to see him slow it down now.
Yeah, I think you want to milk your possessions.
Right side Tatum.
Give them credit. They've worked hard all game, now looking to finish it.
I think the key here is to be careful about playing it too safely. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Timeout called the Nets. They trailed by 5. And let's get your take, guys. What's the strategy?
Yeah, trying to get back in this thing, they need a score.
You have to be smart here. If they're successful, the foul has got to happen quickly.
That is world class.
What a huge shot at this point in the game.
Had to foul on that occasion to stop the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
So he gets them both in a 4-point ballgame.
Clutch free throws there. That should ensure they're going home with the W.
Timeout called the Nets. They're trailing by 4. What do you think Coach's focus is going to be here?
Score, then hope for some missed free throws or a turnover at the other end.
Well, at this point, everything has to go your way to extend this game.
Carter got it.
Oh, what terrific hustle. He's got a nose for the rebound.
Greg, he's ferocious when the ball goes up. And now an intentional foul. They need the ball back as soon as possible. And that hurts as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. And he ends up making the second, and that makes it a 3-point lead. Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation. And so it's Washington who scrape by with the win. A big playoff win for them, but what isn't?